All right, I think I'm next. Am I correct?
Just hold on. Um, Zila, would you like to comment on that, or should we move on to the next question?
I'll take 3 questions at a time if that's all right with you.
Okay, that's cool. Yes, you can
It's,
go, Unai.
sorry. Guys, could you please try to limit your questions to at least 2.5 minutes? Thank you.
All right. No, I'll try my best. My name is Kawega Zikumalo. I'm from the United Eswatini Diaspora. Firstly, you'll be happy to hear that the United Nations process has started. We were at the United Nations Human Rights Council just this Friday to deliver a memorandum of our demands, and part of that is really asking the UN to have a special session on the issue of Eswatini. So in terms of strategy and in terms of the UN, I think that process has already started. African Union, SADC are next in terms of us calling those bodies out with a silence on the issue of Eswatini. So I think everybody will be happy to hear that, especially you, Phumzile. But what I want to touch on really, I heard you speak earlier on that, we need to educate our people in terms of what democracy is and the benefits of democracy. But I really want to check, how do you educate people, especially Tina Maswati, that do not even understand our own rights. And I mean, the political education is very fundamental in this struggle because we need to understand how to politically attack the struggle. But I think at the very foundation, we must be able to educate ourselves to understand what our own rights are, universal rights, rights that every single human being has, and we are being denied those rights. The last thing that I want to ask Usis Phumzile is, I just want to check with you and perhaps as an invitation as well to join us. And I just want to check with you, where are you placing your solidarity and your activism, in this whole Eswatini situation? It would be really, really helpful if you would place it anywhere. And I'm inviting you openly as well, because with the person of your caliber, the kind of context you might have might actually help move the struggle forward, because what we're finding right now is we have to start from scratch to try and find out who's the right person to speak to in all these different organizations. And perhaps it will also help to say we including yourself, not necessarily just saying you guys must continue, must push, you guys. I would really love to feel the we within your solidarity, within your activism as Leswati and standing with Emaswati. Thank you.
Staki.
No, angibonga kakhulu kulo sesihlalweni. Thank you very much, even Comrade Phumzile, for joining. One would like to also echo on what has just been said by Uqhawekazi. There are processes in motion. I know that we've gotten contacts of the 15 members of the UN Security Council, and we'll hit the ball rolling very soon in terms of lobbying them or on having the issue of Swaziland and King massacring people being discussed at the UN Security Council level. That is one thing that we will be working on this week going forward. But I just want to check a few quick questions to you, Phumzile. The first one would be, why was it very difficult? Because I want to believe the issue of Swaziland is not very new. I know you've served as the whip in the Democratic Alliance, and also you were once the spokesperson of the Democratic Alliance. But I've never heard the DA speaking on the issue of Swaziland. Because this thing that is happening in Swaziland is not new. It is a process that has been taking place for a longest time. But we've seen the political players in the region, especially political parties in South Africa, have been very quiet except for just a few. And that is one that I would want to check. What is the position of the DA? I know you are no longer in the DA now, but perhaps with the experience that you've had with the DA, has the issue of Swaziland being discussed at international relations caucus. The second one that you raised is the issue of first past the post principle of would see people must be elected in the constituencies before they are put forward. I think Swaziland, one of the things that Lai Shog would say, no, our people are elected directly from their constituencies as it stands with the Tinkundla system. But the shortcomings with the current dispensation is that political parties are not allowed to contest elections, which some of us are saying it's fine, individuals must contest elections, but also political parties must have the right to contest elections. That is what I wanted to get a clarity on. When you say people must be elected in constituencies, the regime in Swaziland will tell you that I know ours is democracy. People are elected in their constituencies, just that we have a challenge with the election of prime minister. Then the last one would be the election of prime minister is how do we move forward? We see South Africa as it stands now. They got the political power, but in terms of the economic power is the reason why South Africa is the stage that it is in today, and the inequalities that you see in the society in South Africa are very alarming. Do you want democracy to vote people into office, or you want it to be an enabler of people moving out of one social gradient to the other?
All right. Let me start with answering Kawegazi in sort of one and explaining my position. So I obviously have quite a bit of influence and a public profile. So I considered very carefully where I place myself in this revolution. And some of you will recall I posted a tweet a couple of days ago where I said that be careful about people hijacking your struggle and making it about themselves. So I was very careful not to make it about me, because I do generally post it as we, but I didn't want to make it about me where the headlines are Phumzile Van Damme does this, Phumzile Van Damme does that, because it takes away from your agency and it becomes something that I am doing. And I wanted it to accurately reflect as the people of Eswatini. So where I use my influence mostly is behind the scenes. And a lot of it is work that is very sensitive in protecting people's lives and giving information about who to speak to, making phone calls, giving people contacts, reaching out to individuals that I know that are in important positions. So I do leverage my influence, but in a way that is not to benefit myself or to advance my brand, because I am not doing any of this. It's not like I'm not doing it to gain anything for me. I'm doing it for the people of Eswatini. And I am very careful about not placing myself, knowing what that would do, in what that would do to a struggle that is about the people of Eswatini. It will become about me. I hope I'm explaining that carefully. I didn't want the headlines to become about, Phumzile Van Damme is now, a leader figure in the struggle in Eswatini. And that wouldn't be an accurate reflection. I part of it. I am providing advice. I am helping in the digital space. I do a lot of work behind the scenes. So I hope that makes sense. I really think it's important that don't take it away from it being a struggle that is from the people of Eswatini. And then about the Democratic Alliance, I would respectfully not want to engage in that because that is not who I am now. And that question must be asked to the DA. I am Phumzile Van Damme now. This work that I'm doing here now, I'm doing as an activist. Nobody's paying me. I'm doing it out of just pure